Good morning and welcome to a show we like to call the Dallas Download, the show where we keep you in the know on what's trending, what's happening, and what's actually worth your time. You know, so you don't have to scroll for 3 hours to figure it out. I'm Kayla, and this week we've got this.
Let's start over here. We've got a pasta fagioli, which is something that I grew up eating in an Italian household. Very easy to make, but it looks very impressive. It only takes about 20 minutes, maybe?
A lot of it was just our cast. You know, we had Elle Fanning playing Margot, Michelle Pfeiffer playing Cheyenne, her mother, and Nick Offerman playing Jinx, her father.
All that and more right here on the Dallas Download.
Have you ever wondered what it really takes to send technology to the moon and then make it work once it's there? There's a new documentary called Drive Me to the Moon. It takes viewers behind the scenes of a groundbreaking lunar mission and the collaboration that made it possible. So joining us today is Fabiana Neves, Vice President of Castrol Americas, to talk about the film and why this moment matters for the future of space exploration. Welcome to the show, Fabiana. How are you?
Thank you for having me. All good here today. Thank you.
All right, for our viewers just hearing about it, what is Drive Me to the Moon and what story does the documentary tell?
Drive Me to the Moon is a documentary where you will see everything behind the scenes on what it takes to be in the moon, from the concept to design, to collaboration, to bringing innovation, technology, and all steps towards making sure, hey, we are in the moon again.
And the movie follows the Lunar Voyage 1 mission from early testing to touchdown on the moon. What do you think will surprise people most when they watch it?
Well, the first one is making sure that the collaboration with the private sector and how new innovation has evolved and made it possible for the first time ever be in the lunar South Pole. So that's a pioneer opportunity never done before. And you can see firsthand, right, so on the documentary.
Mission control is also a big part of the story. What makes this operation so unique compared to past lunar missions?
Mission control is the brain behind the machines and truly what monitors, give control, as well as receive the data and insights of everything that is happening from the moment of the launch until the machine is in there, right? So is the brain, is the women behind everything that happens, right? So the ability to monitor, to receive the images, the data, the insights, and then turn this into actions that we can learn and evolve further is definitely the heart and the brain behind everything happening there.
And Castrol has been involved in space exploration for decades. How did that experience shape their role in this mission and making of this film?
For over 7 decades, we have been partnering with NASA since the Apollo mission, worked with the Mars missions, with the rovers, the Opportunity, the Curiosity, the Perseverance rovers, and our technology have evolved and enabled these missions to be successful. Now partnering with Lunar Outpost and the private sector to making sure that we do evolve, that we bring the technology, and our lubricants enable those missions to be successful is critical, has been critical for Castrol. We are really, really proud of being partnering and working and evolving with the space industry.
With renewed excitement around lunar exploration right now, how does this mission help set the stage for what's coming next?
Yeah, great question. We are definitely keen to support the goal of finding a sustainable way of having human presence in the moon. This mission was a first step towards that goal, so we are keen to continue partnering and making sure that, hey, we can make this a reality and there is a sustainable way for having human presence in the moon.
So where can our viewers go check out Drive Me to the Moon and maybe get more information?
You can go to our website, castrol.com/drive-me-to-the-moon, and also you can find us on YouTube.
Fabiana Neves, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
What if you could experience Elvis in a way you've never seen or heard before? A new cinematic event from director Baz Luhrmann brings rare footage, restored performances, and unheard recordings together in something that's not quite a documentary and not just a concert film. It's called Epic, Elvis Presley in Concert. Baz Luhrmann joins us now to talk about his new big screen experience. Baz, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, Dan, and I love the way you described it. as a cinematic event, because people are having trouble to sort of say what it is, but that's what it is. This weekend, 1,900 screens all over the US. Get out and have a cinematic event, because that's what we tried to do. That's what Elvis is.
And during the making of Elvis, you went searching for rumored lost concert footage,
Yeah.
and actually found dozens of boxes that hadn't been seen in decades. What did that discovery like for you?
Oh my God! Literally, we thought we'd find a reel, and we went down to these salt mines in Kansas City where they stored negative. Bang! There's 65 boxes and 1635, some 8mm. And Peter Jackson helps us bring it back to us to a level of quality. I mean, just get to the biggest screen you can in your town. It's in every town this weekend. Just get out there and see it, because it is actually, I've seen it enough now. People like applaud during it, they dance during it. This is a movie you can really bother the other patrons, you know, bother them with your noise and your energy, because that's what it's for.
And this isn't simply a restored concert film. You described it as almost a cinematic poem. How did you approach shaping Elvis's life story through this dreamlike concert experience?
Well, when I was working with my creative partner in this, John O'Redman, we found this one box, and in it, Elvis is just recorded, unguarded, telling you about his life story. And we said, no talking heads in this. Let's just have Elvis come to you in a dream and tell you his story really unrestricted. And music and sing-along and concert moments. And he rocks out in it. Now sonically it's in 5/1. Everyone just says it sounds like it was recorded today, you know? And the audiences are reacting like that. This is the concert, the world tour that Elvis never actually had. He dreamed of having one. He never got outside the US. As we're speaking, he's in 5,000 screens all around the world right now.
And for audiences who think they already kind of know Elvis or absolutely loved your film from 2022, what makes Epic a completely different experience on the big screen?
I go on YouTube and just see what fans are saying. They'll tell you. They're going like, I thought I knew him, and now, but it's his humor. He's so goofy. He's so disarming. And then just you see him creating the music. Like you see him take a song like Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel, and turn it into this like gospel powerhouse song. And you know, he's so unpredictable. And I think people are, even hardcore fans are going like, one guy said, he said it beautifully. He said, you know, this is the film that Elvis always dreamed of making, but 50 years after his death, he's finally in it.
Baz, I want to thank you for joining me today. Epic Elvis Presley in Concert is in theaters now. You can find showtimes and tickets at your local theater and experience Elvis like never before. Baz, it's been a pleasure to have you on here, my friend.
Yes, my man. You're cool.
Reality TV families come and go, but the Robertsons somehow turned beards, duck calls, and family chaos into a cultural phenomenon. Now they're back with Duck Dynasty, The Revival, following Willie and Korie Robertson as the family grows. The kids start their own lives, and the Duck Commander legacy just keeps evolving. The new season even opens with a tribute to Phil Robertson, while the rest of the clan brings plenty of the humor that fans remember. Joining us now are Willie and Korie Robertson. Great to see you both. It's great to see the Robertson family back on TV. What made this the right time to bring everyone together again?
Well, we kind of looked up and all of our kids were back. After the show ended in 2017, we had a really busy run, so we were ready to take a little break, and then all our kids like scattered and went off to college and got married and all the things. And we looked up one day and all of our kids were here back home. We all live right there together on this little family compound, and our kids all work with us in some capacity up at Duck Commander within the warehouse. And so thought it'd be fun to kind of give the fans a little update into our life and where we are now.
When people first met your family, the kids were a lot younger. Now they're married, raising families, and starting businesses. What's it like watching the next generation step into the legacy?
Oh, man, it's been a blast. Yeah, for sure. We had, I think the main test was, do you want to be back on television? Because our kids had been on it, and so when they decided they would, we knew we didn't ruin them too bad. Well, watch them grow up, and our cast members have gotten way bigger because we have a lot more little kids and also all their spouses. And so, yeah, it's been fun watching kind of what they're going to do in life. And fortunately for us, they all ended up back here in Louisiana. And yeah, it's just been a joy. And then a lot of them have drifted to the office. And so, yeah, it's kind of, it's made for the kind of the next generation to see who's going to take it on. And, you know, I didn't take over Duck Commander until I was 30. Grew up in the business, never saw myself working here when I was 30, that's when Korie and I came back and actually started working full-time for the company. So they're right about the age to where we were, and we're going to see who's next potentially to jump into the business.
Duck Commander has always been at the center of the show. How has the business changed as the next generation gets involved?
Well, we're still right here in our Duck Commander warehouse. We're still making duck calls right here in West Monroe, Louisiana. But now the family business has expanded quite a bit. Sadie's Live Original, her whole women's ministry is there. John Luke's into coffee. Bella's actually running our store and our museum. Will and Abby are back. Spoiler alert, Will and Abby made back this season. So everybody's right there, but everyone is doing different things.
The premiere includes a tribute to Phil Robertson. What did that mean to honor him in that way?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because the week that the actual new series started, season 1, was the week that Phil actually passed away. And so it was literally a passing of the torch from Phil and that generation down to the next. And so we just thought it'd be awesome to start out season 2 honoring him. And we see some great parts of the show on there. I mean, it's like tons of real moments. And then also we had to kind of make it Robertson, and we had some tributes to Phil, some competitions like we like to do. Just a fun way to remember him, not only for us as a family as we go through the process of healing after he's passed on, but also for all the fans who's watched him for years and have really fallen in love with Phil and what he says. And to see him start off this show, it really was a tribute to the whole effort of even doing it. I mean, like Korie says, when we did that episode, it just felt like this is why we needed to come back and do the show.
Yeah, it was really special. The most special part to me was having Miss Kay on there. We actually got to sit down with an interview for her, and she got to just reminisce about Phil and what his life meant to her. So it was really, really special. I was nervous for her, but she did so good. And I know that we'll all be glad, our family will be glad to have that moment and that legacy captured.
There's also a sweet moment with Sadie welcoming her baby girl. What's it been like watching the family grow with all these new grandkids?
Yes, you get to see. It was really full circle season because it does start off with the passing of Phil and ends with new life being born. So there was a real passing of the torch in this season. Sadie actually found out she was pregnant the week we started filming season 1. Yeah. And then Kit comes into the world at the end of season 2. So you just get a lot of real life moments. I think whenever we all sit down as a family to say, like, what do we want this show to be? One of the words that all the kids said was authentic. We wanted to bring people into our lives a little bit, let them see things that we're really going through, the good and the bad, and the fun. There's a lot of fun, and we laugh a lot, but that's kind of what it's all about. It's life.
And actually, since we've gotten through filming, we have had twins now. John Luke and Mary Kate have had twins, which is our 10th and 11th grandchild. So grandchildren. So Korie's getting old. Korie's getting old.
And your family has always mixed humor with deeper conversations about faith and life. Why do you think that resonates with so many viewers?
Yeah, I think, I think our take in life is always tried to be not take ourselves too seriously. And so when you get thrust into the spotlight and the fame, I think you really kind of find out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to promote. And I think it all for us came back to what our core was, which was faith, which is why we even did the show in the first place. Was really just to potentially get the gospel out to more people, to have a bigger platform. And so I remember talking to Phil about that, and Phil was not interested in doing the show at all when we first pitched it to him. And we talked through how it could actually get the gospel out to more people, and we certainly saw that happen. Not just through the show and through having a positive show that everybody can watch, but also through the books that have been written, the podcasts that have been done, the movies that have been made, all the things that we felt strongly about to put out there, that we had a passion for. And when you mix that with fun and humor, I think it's just a great combination, because everything is so serious now, and the world's serious and it's tough, and there's problems and politically, and everybody is at each other's throats. And so I think Duck Dynasty was a great show for people to sit down and watch and just kind of take a break and go, let me just smile and laugh and think about more positive things.
When people watch this new season, what do you hope they take away from the Robertson family today?
You know, I think we want people to just see real life and see that, you know, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we do all come together at the end of the day, you know, around the table. I think that moment of the original Duck Dynasty is still happening for our family. And so it's in this season as well, that moment where we come around the table together. We thank God for what we have. We thank God for our blessings, and we forgive whatever grievances we might have or whatever fights we might have throughout that episode or that week. But I just think that's really important. I think that's what resonated with people the first time around, to see a family that isn't perfect but that loves each other, and to see people who put faith at the center of our lives. And that's who we are. It's what we do. It's what we've continued to do. And we hope that resonates with people.
Yeah, and I hope that they see how important our family is to us, and how much we intentionally pour into our family to keep us together, to share meals together, to share in each other's joys and bursts, but also the struggles, and you know, when you're down. And so that's the importance of family, and that's why we made the show, is actually for other families as well, so that they can have another time to get together, spark a conversation, and just really promote family. And so our family has always stayed together through it all, and so it's so important and vital. And I think this show would help, hopefully help families get a little smile, but also remember how important family actually is.
I want to thank you two for joining me today. You can catch Duck Dynasty, the revival, on A&E, with new episodes airing Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's also streaming on the A&E app and at anetv.com. Willie, Korie, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
One bold idea turns a full-blown international mess in Balls Up. It's a fast, over-the-top comedy where marketing stunt goes completely sideways and it doesn't let up. And today, Walter Hauser plays Elijah right in the middle of the chaos. Paul, it's good to have you here, my friend. How are you?
Good to be here, man. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this movie, some people might find it far-fetched. You know, Wahlberg and I play two guys who are kind of, you know, co-workers, but also arch nemesises, as it were, if that's a word, nemesises. But we end up at this World Cup game, Brazil versus Argentina, and we ruin the World Cup, and the entire nation of Brazil is after us. So it may seem far-fetched, but, you know, sports fanatics are pretty tribalistic. This is the biggest game of the year. And as we see in baseball sometimes, a fan will get involved in the outfield where they stick their hand out and literally make an outfielder miss a fly ball. So something like this could definitely happen. And far be it from me to think that the Brazil soccer fans wouldn't want to kill two guys that ruined the World Cup.
One way to ruin your life is have a slight moment out on a game or something like that.
Yeah.
The story of this kicks off with a pretty outrageous pitch. Let's just say it's a little nuts. What made you want to be part of this project?
You know, I just feel like I'm a pretty ballsy actor in general, a lot of the things I do. So it felt like it was up my alley. I'm a little nuts.
Elijah gets thrown into some wild situations. How did you approach like playing this character who was basically trying to just keep up with the chaos? Was there any real life influence to build that character off of?
You know, Elijah is a bit of a fish out of water. He really isolates and is kind of in his own world, kind of work obsessed. I don't think he's on a dating app. I don't think he has many male friends or camaraderie or community. So this film is really him stepping out of his comfort zone entirely. And not only does he make a new friend by doing that, he kind of tests his own fortitude. You know, he has to kind of man up or balls up, so to speak, in the film. And that was fun to play as an actor. It's fun to have to rise to the occasion amidst feeling the ineptitude of the character.
And the comedy here is pretty bold, pretty big. What was the most fun moment for you to film?
Oh, man. I think anything with me, Mark, and Sacha Baron Cohen was a lot of fun. And anything with Molly Shannon, because I'm a big SNL nerd. I love Saturday Night Live, and she's one of my favorite people.
I can't wait to see you and Sacha together. You guys are like some of them. In my opinion, you two are some of the best actors I've ever seen.
Thanks,
you two on screen together is just going to be very, very fun to see.
We got some magic moments.
You're also sharing the screen with Mark Wahlberg. What was that dynamic like behind the scenes?
Mark is super generous, super funny. he has a playfulness to him, a sense of like almost like a naughty kid in school who's like, what can I get away with? Mark like has a mischievous side, and he's very funny and sharp and well read. So I got along with him swimmingly, and I hope people feel like we have good chemistry, because as we were doing it, it felt like we had good chemistry.
And I want to thank you for joining me today. Paul Walter Hauser, Balls Up is now streaming on Prime Video. So if you're looking for something fast, chaotic, and just a good time, it's ready to check out right now. Paul, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Dan.
You know what happens when life throws everything at you before you even have a chance to figure it out? That's the idea behind Margot's Got Money Troubles, a series that follows a young woman navigating money, identity, and some very unexpected choices along the way. Today, we're joined by Ruthie Thorpe, the author behind the story, and Eva Anderson, executive producer and writer on the series, to talk about bringing this bold, funny, and very real world to life. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, Ruthie, this story started as your novel. What was the moment that you knew Margot's story had to be told in this way?
Well, I think the whole book really began to come together. I'd had this idea for a character who was both a mother and an OnlyFans model, but when I brought in her father, who is an ex-pro wrestler, that's when the draft really started to come alive, was watching the two of them together.
So, Eva, when you came on to help adapt it, what stood out to you about Margot as a character?
I mean, Margot's such an interesting character in Ruthie's book. She's very resourceful. She's scrappy. You know, early in the book, she gets pregnant, has an affair with her college professor and gets pregnant, but is very she doesn't blame anyone for it. She just decides to take what life has given her and make something of it. And because of that, you get to follow her into all these really interesting places. She's also just like very funny, and she's very loving, and she's a great mom, and she's a great OnlyFans model. She's somebody you really want to root for, Margot.
And the show balances humor with some really real life struggles. How did you find that tone without losing either side? And how much did you pull from real life moments?
I mean, it all came from Ruthie's book. She has this really interesting tone that's both very, very funny and at times very dark. And I think a lot of it was just our cast. You know, we had Elle Fanning playing Margot, Michelle Pfeiffer playing Cheyenne, her mother, and Nick Offerman playing Jinx, her father, the pro wrestler. And those three could really balance so much in terms of putting them through really difficult things while never losing their heart and their humor and their love for each other.
And there's a lot of themes here. There's money, identity, motherhood, even some internet culture. What do you hope audiences take away after watching?
I hope that they feel more empowered to make their life something they want on their own terms.
The book's and the show's very non-judgmental, and I hope that they don't judge other people and they approach the people they love with love.
And now that people can watch it, what are you most excited for audiences to experience or react to?
Nicole Kidman wrestles Nick Offerman in a pro wrestling ring. And so that's pretty exciting.
I just love getting to see Elle Fanning, this feral and sort of bestial and very much a wrestler's daughter. And also the portrayal of that first postpartum period, I feel like is more accurate than I've seen on TV. And I'm excited for people to see her this way.
You buried the lead with Nicole Kidman and Nick Offerman there. All right.
Yeah. And Michelle Pfeiffer sings. That's also important.
All right. I'm excited for all of this. Margot's Got Money Troubles is now streaming on Apple TV, so you can catch up on the series and see why so many people are already talking about it. Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
Grocery prices are still all over the place right now, and a lot of people are just trying to keep meals simple without overspending. There are a few ingredients that haven't jumped up as much and can still carry a lot of flavor. Justine Santaniello is a lifestyle expert who's been working with easy, budget-friendly recipes that don't feel like a compromise. Good to see you, Justine.
Thank you for having me.
So grocery prices are still a big concern. What are some realistic ways people can stretch their food budget right now?
Yeah, listen, I get it, guys. I have a family at home. I've got 2 kids, so I am in the supermarket sometimes multiple times a week. I'm prepping those weeknight meals, so I really do understand. And that's why ground pork has become the go-to protein in my house, because I'm getting that big flavor without those big prices.
And you're highlighting ground pork. What makes it a smart option compared to other proteins?
Okay, so first things first, it's super versatile, which I love. I mean, you can air fry it, you can bake it, you can sear it, roast it, grill it, you name it. It's naturally flavorful. It's got this like subtle sweetness to it, but also a lot of deep savory notes. And it's also super juicy, super tender, which is huge. I mean, listen, you guys already know and love bacon, pepperoni, sausage, right? But that's really just the beginning. You want to taste what pork can do. And I feel like you can really do that with ground pork.
And when someone brings it home, what's the best way to cook it so it actually delivers on flavor?
Yeah, so very easy to cook and work with, trust me. I think really the key is that you don't want to overcook it. So 160 degrees, that's your sweet spot. That's where you want to be. So when you're browning it, you want to use a medium high heat, right? Not high, so that you're not taking out that naturally occurring tenderness and juiciness. So you want to let it caramelize, build that depth to it. That's what's key.
And I see you've got a few dishes you're working with.
Yes.
Walk us through a couple that are easy to pull off on a weeknight.
Yes, so we've got a few recipes for you guys here that I think are a little outside the box, which is why I like them. So let's start over here. We've got a pasta fagioli, which is something that I grew up eating in an Italian household. Very easy to make, but it looks very impressive. It only takes about 20 minutes maybe. You've got beans in here, pasta, the ground pork, a tomato base, very hearty, very flavorful. And then moving this way, finally, it's going to be time to start grilling. Summer's coming. You want to use ground pork for your burger. So the burger we have here is a brown sugar pork burger. And then we topped it with a bacon onion jam. Really plays off that subtle sweetness that you get from the ground pork. Yum, super delicious. And then moving this way, this is something that's been a real big hit in my house. My girls have been loving this. So this is essentially an egg roll in a bowl. And it's basically a deconstructed egg roll. And you're using flavors here that maybe you're not using regularly, like sesame oil, soy sauce, green onion, sesame seeds, cabbage, all of that good stuff that you have in your traditional egg roll, but deconstructed into a bowl. You make this in one pan, which is a huge hit for me. And again, looks super impressive.
And where can people go if they want to try some of these delicious recipes themselves?
Yeah, so you guys can go to tastewhatporkcando.com. It'll have all the info for you guys and tons of amazing recipe suggestions.
Justine, I want to thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of The Dallas Download. We are so excited to be here, and we can't wait to do it again with you next week. Catch us right here on KDAF, Sundays at 5:30 a.m. And if you just can't get enough of the show, I know I can't, head to DallasDownload.com and follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all at The Dallas Download. Thanks for watching, and until next time, that was a show we like to call The Dallas Download.